A quirky, dysfunctional family's road trip is upended when they find themselves in the middle of the robot apocalypse. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This is currently number 1 on Netflix's top 10 list. So the movie is directed by Michael Ryanda. I'm totally butchering that name. I do apologize. And Jeff Rowe. And this has a good cast in it as well for voice actors. Abby Jacobson plays Katie. Danny McBride plays Rick. Maya Rudolph is Linda. Michael Rianda is Aaron. So he also co-directs this, but he also plays the brother Aaron in this. So he voice actors in it. And Olivia Colman plays Pal, who's a personal assistant on your phone. So, so this movie is a mashup of like 80s family road trip comedies put together, including like apocalypse movies from the 80s as well. So we've got tropes from each of those kind of mixed in with this. We meet Katie, who is like the awkward teen. She's into film creating. She loves making goofy videos featuring her dinosaur-obsessed younger brother, Aaron, and their dog, Mochi. So we see that she's basically like this girl who is really into doing like all types of movies, and she's, for the most part, she's pretty good at it from what you've seen throughout the movie. And she makes like Dog Cop is one of her like short films that she posts on her YouTube channel, things like that. And she goes through and she narrates some of the movie as well. We get like different parts where she literally talks about it in the middle of some action scenes, things like that. And like a lot of teens, the generation gap between Katie and her father Rick has been is wide, and it's been widened by technology. Rick doesn't understand Katie because he doesn't really understand like technology. He doesn't know how to use like computers and things like that, because he's the outdoorsman, in this. We get to see that quite a bit, that he's really the more of the outdoorsman, and he puts an emphasis on that, and he doesn't like the technology part, but he's also doesn't want her to fail and not have a life, you know what I mean? So he's trying to protect her from like the world, but at some point you really can't. And, there's a lot of family drama in this, too. And Rick decides to have one last road trip at, like, when Katie's going to leave. Because Katie gets accepted into film school in California. And in order to try to heal the family and bring them closer, Rick decides to throw her plane ticket out and do a family road trip to get them closer. And as this is happening, the Pal creator, Mark Bowman, who's voiced by Eric Andre, introduces the world to the next step in the tech's evolution, a new version of Pal. So Pal is basically like the iPhone in this movie. So we really get to see that. And then during the road trip, we see that Katie isn't really into it until really towards the end. And the robot apocalypse starts, and it reminds me of like the Terminator movies. So I thought that was, kind of interesting the way they did it, for the apocalypse. But overall, it was, it was pretty good. At first, again, Katie's not into it, and then she finally starts to come around, and she gets her dad on board about, saving the world, because at first he's like, no, we're gonna play it safe. And she gives a speech, about he's never played it safe. So I really like that. This movie has like action in it, comedy, robots, explosions, and a lot more. So this was a big surprise. a lot of the Netflix animated movies really have been hit or miss. A lot of their movies in general have been hit or miss lately. And this was a actual surprise to see that it was this was enjoyable. The visuals are actually great. The design of the robots, all the way to the regular like toasters, look really good. As you can see from the picture here, we get to see like a whole bunch of different things. Plus, the film is given an extra layer of creativity, complete with stickers, memes, quirky effects, and a lot more. It's filled with IG filters and GIFs and emojis and memes that and freeze frame type stuff. So just to name a few things that are in it. And sometimes that does take away from some of the action. Like they'll literally stop in parts and then they'll throw up like a filter. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, and Katie's narrating this too. And then she's like, oh, nope, never mind. And it's like, if they did a little bit less of that, it would have flowed a little bit better, especially for the action. Like, and eventually they don't do that. So I actually thought it was overall was good, but there were certain parts where it wasn't necessary because it kind of broke the action. And that was one of my issues with it. But really, other than that, there wasn't really any major issues. We get a cover of Ozone's Dragasta Dinty. I butchered that. I apologize. By Rihanna in it. And the closing track is Oh My Way by Alex LaHaye. Yeah, LaHaye. And there are some really other good songs throughout this. So I actually did like the soundtrack. Olivia Colman does a great job playing the AI Pal. Honestly, that was that was pretty good. I enjoyed Pal a lot in this movie. And Jacobson doesn't overplay the awkward teen in this either, which I actually thought that was good because Katie is imbued with like confidence instead of like the normal cliches of the awkward teen. So I really actually liked that about it. Those were the two I thought were kind of really good. Everybody in this movie was good though. I really liked Rick, especially when he finally tries something different and stuff. The Mitchells versus the Machines is a lot of nostalgic fun, but told in a modern style too, which I thought was, pretty good because at first I was like, oh, this is kind of a modern movie. It's probably going to have a lot of, preaching in it and other stuff, and it didn't. It actually didn't, and I liked that. This was a good movie that the whole family can actually enjoy. So if you have kids, you can literally sit down and watch this movie with them and enjoy it with them. Instead of just like putting it on for them to watch while you go do stuff. You can actually sit down and enjoy it. I would give this at least a 7.5, 8 out of 10 easily. This was a very surprising good movie. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this. Take care for now, everybody.